Welcome to the open book, where every voice matters. Every story got layers, and every conversation opens something new. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective shows. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Late night talks with the smooth bass knocking. Whole room tuned when the topics dropping. Authors, culture, real life views. Open book vibes bring a whole new groove. No fake energy when the dialogue starts. Different perspectives play a major part. From page to podcast, the vibes stay deep. Real conversations every single week. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective show. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every chapter different. Every voice got purpose. Every voice got purpose. Turn the page.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone had a wonderful and marvelous Monday. Some of you may be at home or on your way home from work, or maybe in there cooking a little dinner, okay? You know, I don't know where I'm going to go with that one, okay? It may be every person for themselves tonight, because I'm just not feeling it, okay? We had a late lunch, okay? But welcome, y'all. Make sure y'all tap that like button. It is for free. Let everyone know that we are live. Let's see who we have here so far. Hey, Tabitha, welcome. Thank you for joining and thank you for being first in the building. Hey, Buttercup, good afternoon, good evening. Philly Girl Juice, you said hello again. Hey, sis, and I saw you on the way out. This morning, it was so many comments. I was like, I hope people weren't thinking I was acting funny. But y'all, it was hard for me to keep up. But check this out. I'm catching the group that's in here right now just in case. Hey, Janet, good evening. Welcome. My sis LaShondra is back in the building. Welcome. Hey, HGY is in the building. My girl Verb, I am so happy Verb came out of those bushes. I am so happy. Okay, shout out to the bush watchers. You never have to be afraid of coming into the chat. Okay, hey, my girl Queen Shailene is in the building. My sis Shelly Shells is in the building. I always like woosah when I see Shelly's picture. Okay, I love you, sis. Hey, Roberta is in the building. Thank you for joining. Tabitha said, it's my birthday today. Tabitha, you know what? I got to do it because I do it for all of my supporters. If you come in and tell me. Now, if you don't let me know, I never know. Verb, I don't plan on it. Okay. Whew, okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Tabitha. Happy birthday to you. I hope you had a wonderful birthday, sis. Shout out to you. You put me on the spot with my voice. My voice sounded like this. Okay. Shout out to Simone is in the building. Hey, Tracy. She said, good evening. I'm working, but listening. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, y'all. Let's wish Tabitha a happy birthday today. She said, I was like, she didn't say anything to me. You know what? I didn't even see you, Buttercup. I'm going to be honest. I didn't. So my apologies. Yes, that's what thank God for the mods. Okay. Because some of y'all, I didn't even see in the chat today. Hey, Lifers, Nikisha is in the building. Welcome. Michelle, thank you for joining. Okay. Thank you, girl, but I don't think so. Look, I can hold a note. I learned that in elementary school. Okay. Shout out to God. Okay. Baby, that was a complete shock this morning. But shout out to everyone that was there and present in that live. It means a lot to me. And I give God the glory, y'all. I really do. That was like open book history. Okay, y'all helped to make history this morning. That was probably my top live ever. Not the top like viewed, but the top live. So shout out to you all who were there to support. If you did not see this morning's live, when you get a chance, make sure that you check out this morning's live about some updates with Nolan Wells. We are continuing to keep his family lifted up in prayer as they are navigating this whole situation and trying to figure out what happened to Nolan. Okay. And so we went over some things during that live this morning. All right, y'all. So let's get into this one. Now, on this live, y'all, we're going to really, this is an expose all lies. Y'all remember when Cat Williams was on what's his name? Oh Lord, Shay Shay Club Shay Shay. Okay, well, Shannon Sharp, when he said, now y'all, it still rings true. All lies will be exposed. Okay, and best believe in this Karmelo Anthony case, a lot of lies are being exposed after the fact. Okay, now some things that we had our unctions about prior to it all being exposed, but y'all, as things are starting to come out, more things are being exposed. So during this show, we are going to tap into a court reporter. Now, she's a real legit court reporter, and I think she handles also federal cases. Now, there's something we're going to take a look at that was on the motion for the new trial as it pertained to the case file. She's going to briefly talk about, y'all, she said this is something she's never even heard of in her career, of them handling things, how they're handling it at the Collin County Courthouse. She's going to break down the process of when a whole case and trial is going on, what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, I don't think it's right that the new attorneys have to wait on them to get it together. I feel that a lot of the things that were not done was actually intentional to delay his appeal. That's just my opinion. I really feel like some of this was a delay, and some of it was just bold like moves of just the corruption and cover up, that they had no intention of this many people following that case and really putting a spotlight on what they were doing. They just thought they were about to throw Karmelo in jail for 35 years and everyone was going to move on. Nobody was going to question anything. But really, so I found the information that she shared very informative. Okay, so we're going to tap into that. Also, salute to the not guilty boys. They're on vacation, but they are still tapped into this case. And so they reacted to the gentleman's deal or the off the record agreement. They too have not seen anything like this. I hear that so many times. And I'm thinking to myself, if a lot of people have not seen things like this, how are these people able to get away with it? You know, it's just like bold to just be out doing this kind of thing. So we're gonna tap into it. We're gonna tap into it. All right, so make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's get into this. So first, let me pull up the motion for the new trial. We're going to look at a portion of that. Okay. Now we're going to just focus in on number 6 here. For those of you who can see the screen, hopefully if you like me, sometimes I need my glasses, but I made it big enough. We don't have too much reading to do. So it says the substantive pretrial work of the case was then conducted out of public view. I just feel like if you're doing so many things out of the public view, child, you already doing something that's wrong. Okay. If you were so intent on having a fair trial, as he tried to say 14, 15, maybe 20,000 times in his interview, child, you would have not had a problem with the public seeing what you were doing. Let me also say my disclaimer. This live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. It states the parties' pretrial conferences with the court including a May 21st, 2026 conference in chambers at which the parties' evidentiary understanding was described to the court, and a May 29, 2026 meeting addressing trial security and scheduling occurred in chambers outside open court. We have a lot of things that are being handled behind the scenes, out of the public view, right there in chambers. No reporter's record of them exists. Okay, I want y'all to clock this because the court reporter today is going to tell us about when they are present to take notes, okay, and to record things. A matter the hearing will confirm. No pretrial hearing was ever held on the access restrictions, and the Register of Actions reflects no such setting. The public docket discloses no motions in limine, and none of the substantive pretrial litigation that in fact occurred, filings that were hand delivered rather than filed in the district clerk's public record. Now she's going to talk about that, in certain cases, something being hand delivered is not against the law, right? But in certain other cases, it definitely looks suspicious, okay? A member of the public who examined the docket before trial would have found no hearing to attend and nothing to read. Now, also, I told y'all that prior to, I would say that weekend, the week of the trial, that last little week, right? I was following the docket. And so I remember going in and I was seeing how they were moving with the actual trial. And I said, you know what? Let me go in and screenshot some things. Let me move this out of the way. Welcome everyone coming on in. We just kind of got started. Thank y'all for tapping in. Okay, y'all, and I'm glad that I did screenshot it, and I've shown this before, but for the purposes of those that may not have seen this, this is what the docket looked like right after the trial. Okay, notice the things that took place prior to the trial. Barely nothing. So what they put in this motion for a new trial is not a lie. If you had checked out the docket prior to them going back, adding things, backdating things, and y'all, what's in the motion for a new trial is one of the exhibits. It's the one that they actually backdated information and added. That was after this, what I have on the screen. Okay, none of that. That's how I know that they went back and did it, because this is what it looked like right after the trial. Because I wanted to know, well, what got me was the lack of evidence, that they brought in. And then I'm like, okay, did the defense know about this? So I wanted to go back and look to see what items have been discussed, that they exchanged the discovery to the defense team and all of that. And when I looked, I was so upset. I said, they didn't do nothing prior to Karmelo's trial. I was so upset, y'all, when I saw that. And I said, I don't think too many people noticed it. So, of course, I screenshot it and I started showing it to some of y'all that were in here. Lo and behold, a couple of days after, I went back and looked, and they had backdated a lot of entries, like subpoena applications on both sides, not just the state, the defense as well, things that were not listed here. And so that showed me that there was potentially already a lot of cover up that we were already noticing. So we're going to get into this video where a real court reporter, and to be honest, with this cover up, this alleged cover up that they're having over there at the Collin County Courthouse, they need to look into a lot of those people. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, because you have a whole court reporter. She was down for this, or he was down for this. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but do they not know the laws and what they're supposed to do? So they went along with it too. It's a lot of people that went along with some stuff, because they should have been like, excuse me, hi, Mr. Judge, Mr. Roach, Judge Roach, however he wanted to be, called. I think I'm supposed to be in there to type this up. Like, they didn't have nothing to say. Okay, so that makes you look complicit in it as well. Okay, when we get to what this lady is going to share with us. Okay, so let me pull this up. All right, so shout out to the Fit Lawyer ATL. Okay, this was very valuable information that the court reporter that she had on her channel shared with us. So make sure y'all check her out because they really broke this thing down.
Let me bring up Quinicia Hill, who is a court reporter that I know from Fulton County Superior Court here in Atlanta, Georgia, which happens to be Georgia is the jurisdiction where the Supreme Court cases that they're arguing in this motion come from. So we are connected. So without further ado, Quinicia Hill, please introduce yourself to the channel.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for agreeing last week. I'm literally, as I'm prepping the show today, I'm sitting there thinking this court reporter stuff, and I'm post.
Oh
I'm like, you happen to be on Facebook when I inbox, and she's like, let me see if I can fit it in my schedule, and here you are, so you fit it in. So thank you so much.
Yes.
For being here.
As a court reporter, I'm here to serve the public, so that includes you and your wonderful followers.
Thank you so much. So introduce yourself to the channel.
Thank you for your patience. Can y'all hear it? It seems like it's still freezing. My apologies, y'all. Okay, let me go out and come back in. Give me 1 second. Y'all hit that like button. Let everyone know we are live. Give me 1 second. Okay, my bad. My apologies. Thank y'all so much for your patience. Child, I got swallowed. Okay, I am back. I'm back. Thank you, those of you who hung in there with me. Let's get on into this. Make sure y'all tap that like button. We are back. We are back. Okay. Ooh, child.
And why the court reporter was left. Like, is that normal? Does that normally happen? And after that, we're going to go through this motion for new trial. All right. So let me bring up Quinicia Hill, who is a court reporter that I know from Fulton County Superior Court here in Atlanta, Georgia, which happens to be Georgia is the jurisdiction where the Supreme Court cases that they're arguing in this motion come from. So we are connected. So without further ado, Quinicia Hill, please introduce yourself to the channel.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for agreeing last minute, because I'm literally, as I'm prepping the show yesterday, I'm sitting there and as I'm thinking about all this court reporter stuff and I'm arguing with people on Facebook under my posts, I'm like, wait a minute, I know a court reporter. Let me see if
Okay, wait a minute. What do we have coming down the chat? Shout out to, first of all, T Lady Boogie. I was having technical difficulties with when she gifted a membership. And also shout out to Protect Your Peace for gifting 10 memberships. I don't know who they went to from StreamYard, but welcome everyone that received a gifted membership. Make sure you thank either T Lady Boogie or Protect Your Peace. Thank you, ladies, so much. Also, if you're sending gifts, I can't see those from StreamYard, but also if the mods can help me thank everyone that's sending gifts, that means a lot. Thank y'all so much for your support. You were already family, but now you are members. Okay. Hey, I am that somebody. Thank you for joining, sis.
she can come up and you happen to be on Facebook when I inbox. And she's like, let me see if I can fit it in my schedule. And here you are. So you fit it in. So thank you so much for being here.
As a court reporter, I'm here to serve the public. So that includes you and your wonderful followers.
Thank you so much. So introduce yourself to the channel.
Okay, so my name is Quinicia Hill. I'm a nationally certified official court reporter. I was formerly a court reporter in Fulton County, but I'm now a federal official for the Southern District of Florida, aka Miami. I have been a court reporter for over 20 years. Same as Tiffany. Actually, I met her in the beginning stages of her career. So we're kind of like, starting out around the same time. Basically, my job in the courtroom is to be seen but not heard. And I make the official record of everything that goes on in the courtroom, from the speakers to the hums, the ha's, the ahs, the and everything else you can think of. I serve the public, I work with the attorneys, I work closely with the judges, and as a public servant for the courts, I'm here for the people.
Yes, thank you so much for your service and your continued service, because you're still working, as you stated. But like you said, yes, I was a public defender when I first started, and in Fulton County, and that was 2006 to 2014, and that's where I know Ms. Hill from. So that's our connection there. All right. So as I stated in my opening, kind of just going through the things that were jaw-dropping to me. Have you ever seen a case where, we're over a month now after the trial the verdict has been rendered, and the file is still under seal in the judge's chambers, and nothing's on the public docket?
Yes. So the short answer, which we as court reporters really like, is no. There has never been a case that I have personally been a part of that the entire record is sealed from the public, from even the attorneys. That is totally unheard of.
Okay, so this lady, this court reporter, Ms. Hill, is stating that she has never seen where the records are sealed, not just from the public, but also the attorneys, the appeal attorneys and the other attorneys, but everything has been sealed. He hurried up and did that too, y'all. After the trial, I immediately saw an order to have it sealed, because usually after a trial, if we were not able to have public access as far as going there in person, you should be able to either go to the courthouse and order it or order it online, the transcript Okay, so he not only restricted access inside of the courtroom, but you are restricting access to documents that should be public. And you're restricting it to the attorneys as well, which, y'all, is causing a delay. It is purposely, like she said, it's been a month, over a month. So what's the purpose of you still having it sealed? They should have already done the work. They're going backdating the docket. They're probably, and I'm gonna be honest, in my own opinion, I don't trust that they won't try to fix up the transcripts, y'all. Okay. Hey, the way they're moving, it would not surprise me if they went in and tried to edit or fix up some stuff on that transcript, because they know that the appeal attorneys are pretty much looking forward to getting that so that they can look for any errors and things like that to do their whole case and so forth. Okay, so that's something that's really, really huge. Let's everyone go ahead and double tap that your screen or the like button. I appreciate that. Okay, we have another one coming down the chat. Shout out to Protect Your Peace for the super chats and for being sponsored. She said, free Karmelo. Like, we needed ASAP, him free ASAP after what y'all are doing. Okay, it wouldn't surprise me, Monica. It really wouldn't. They are exposing themselves by how they are moving. This lady says she hasn't heard of that before.
As a court reporter, we create the record. Now, there are some things that are done in camera, even ex parte, but even those are reported by the court reporter because it is a part of the record. It may be sealed, that portion, but when you say an entire trial, no.
You also heard me mention that in this case, there were documents that were hand delivered. They were not e-filed, so they weren't made part of the public docket. And the hearing for those motions were actually in the judge's chambers. Now, have you ever been a part of those before as a court reporter? Have you been in chambers when there have been secret hearings?
So, yes. Now, secret hearings, it is not secret type thing. So but now there have been situations where I have been a part of an in-camera hearing, produced a transcript from it, hand delivered it to the clerk's office because it is sealed and it has to be open under the order of the court. But again, for an entire trial, no. An entire trial is a public record. The public is entitled to attend a trial, be, able to view all proceedings. So for a trial transcript to be sealed totally is very unusual, very out of the norm. When I was in Fulton County, I worked for a judge in Superior Court. That judge had a saying.
Has Kyrie texted you back?
I don't want to talk about it.
How was the math test?
Out loud on the record, meaning that she would never conduct a hearing outside of the presence of the defendant, outside of the presence of the prosecutor or the plaintiff, outside of the presence of the defense attorney.
Okay. Now y'all see how that whole gentleman's deal or off the record agreement was pretty much, it almost seems like illegal. She said that they were supposed to do all of that in the presence of Karmelo. Okay, he's the defendant. Karmelo didn't even know about it. His parents didn't even know about it. They did all of this off the record. That's what that means. So the court reporter could not even transcribe anything that they were talking about, these oral agreements and so forth, because it was not on the record. And that was intentional. Okay, that was intentional. This lady is so shocked. And I'm hearing what she's saying, even in cases where there are some things that you don't have the public, in on, like if there's a sensitive, she said, like if someone got, assaulted, extremely assaulted, certain things they may not want the public to hear because of the sensitivity of what they're saying. However, it is still recorded. And she's saying that there have been instances where she has to have, hand deliver something that was sealed because of the sensitivity of the information. However, an entire trial on lockdown where no one can gain access to it, she said it's never heard of before. Okay, never heard of before until this particular case with Karmelo Anthony. Welcome. OG is in the building. Okay, like this is crazy work, y'all. These are from professionals that have been doing this work and they know how it should go. Okay, they know how it should go. Wow.
Yes, because you're creating a record, because
Yes.
if something's done in your, like, say, superior court, and I want to appeal it, in order to take it up to the appeals court, I need to produce the transcripts and the record. And I wanted to go back and clarify. You said the transcripts are under seal, but get this, the transcripts haven't even been started. The court reporters have not started transcribing this case. So it's just the docket in the sense of whatever motions the parties filed, whatever the judge's rulings were. Those are the things that are sitting in his chambers, because the transcript has not a day of this trial, not jury selection, not any of the motion hearings, anything has been transcribed to date.
That is crazy. But y'all, if you think about it, how are they going to transcribe something when there was nothing in there? If we go back to the actual docket, which was lacking, okay, it's like a whole skeletal outline. What are they supposed to transcribe? So it's like now you had to go in, backdate the whole docket, some stuff. Okay, I ain't gonna say the whole thing because there was some stuff in there. You had to go back and add this stuff. Now you have to have your court reporter to go back in and transcribe the docket, get all of that, transcribe what was stated there. Did they even have somebody in there typing? I need to ask, the way they moving, child, did they have somebody in there? Y'all know the little people up there typing, because I just don't see what was taking place. How were they able to get away with all of this? Okay, it seems like all types of illegal activity is going on. Okay, she said, are you going to cover Daniel Irvin's case? Yes. You mean the one out of Rowlett, Texas? Yes, we definitely, I did share a short about that over the weekend. Yes. More like hijacking or kidnapping. Yes, Kit Kat, like that is crazy work. I just don't understand how they're able to get away with it. Shout out to Protect Your Peace. You have been about it today. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. She said new trial and not in Collin County. I agree. Okay. I definitely agree. Girl, they probably did not. Okay. They probably didn't even have the person up there typing up anything. So now they're in the mode of covering up their mistakes, covering up their lack. That's why it's taking so long. And in the beginning of this appeal process, that is actually one of the steps that is supposed to happen. They were supposed to get access to the transcripts. And that was the very first step when the whole appeal started, not a month later. So see how they're behind, and it's causing the appeal attorneys to kind of be delayed in getting some things that they need because they had not done the work during the trial. They're going behind covering. Let me type this. Let me give you this. We need y'all to transcribe this. Do this. And it's taking longer and longer and longer. And I'm like, that's not fair. It's not fair to Karmelo how they did this whole trial and after the trial. Okay, leading into the appeal. They thought that they you know what I'm thinking? Also, y'all, the first two attorneys before the Dream Team was on the team, right? And his new appeal attorneys. Remember, they had two court-appointed attorneys on there. They probably thought, oh, we'll just give him these court-appointed attorneys. They're not going to call us to the fire. They're not going to ask for anything. They're going to come in here and halfway step like the last ones did. We don't really have to do too much. Let's go in, make it look like something, and we'll give them anything. See, they weren't banking on this team of 6 to come in and really have Karmelo's back and do what they're supposed to do. Now they're in fix-it mode. We got to get it together because they're going to be checking everything. We got to make sure all of our I's are dotted, all of our T's are crossed, child, because they're going to be looking into it. It's a little too late. We already looking into it. Okay, they already been on it.
Is that normal? Have you ever seen that?
Thank you.
Okay, so let me just touch on that.
Right, Bird.
I saw a comment on social media, so I do want to address that part. Transcript production is not free. Okay. There's a cost associated with producing a transcript. As a court reporter, we are there at the behest of the court, at the pleasure of the court. We are there when the court says, I need a record. So my position, I show up to make that record. However, that record has to be produced. That record is produced on my personal time. So therefore, I have to be paid for my services. I am bound to the court during court hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Transcripts are produced by a court reporter outside of those times. And therefore, that court reporter has to be paid for his or her time. So to come back to your question about the transcript being produced, and that post that I saw, the transcript costs tens of thousands of dollars, whatever the dollar amount is. Mm-hmm. That has to be taken care of before that court reporter begins production on it, because the court reporter is not just a person, but we are also a business. So therefore, we employ people. Those people have to be paid.
Your perfect domain is out there. Go to Wix and make it yours.
So that's the answer to your question. Okay. So if the transcript has not been produced, either they have not officially ordered and paid the court reporter to do it, or because of the circumstances going on, the judge has probably ordered the court reporter, don't produce that transcript.
Yeah, that's
so
what
it could be one of those two things. Because
the case file is still under seal, and he wouldn't produce it to the actual appeal attorneys. The attorneys that have filed an entry of appearance and are representing Karmelo could not get the file or the transcripts. They wanted the transcript with the court. If you want to go to the transcript in the motion for new trial, because that's how you can find each and every error. They weren't able to do that because the judge is not allowing it to be produced. He is keeping this file under seal. So that's just not normal. And so you spoke about in camera, and I want to explain to the channel what that is. So in camera, usually, what is that? I know what it means. Just tell me. Tell the channel what it means.
In camera means outside of the public hearing. So an in-camera hearing is only done when it's the judge, the parties to the case. Now that judge may close off the courtroom and not allow anyone outside of the parties to the case in the courtroom to hear it, or he or she may hold that hearing in their chambers, in their office, hence making it in camera.
Okay.
A Latin word, you have to look it up.
I know a lot of Latin in legalese. Now, in camera, a lot of times when I deal with those, it's in like child molestation cases or something like that, a victim, like 6 years old, 7-year-old, that they want to have testified or interviewed by the judge. And so, of course, you don't want that done in public, right? So that'll be done in camera. Or I know sometimes the judge will review defects records or about a child school or something like that in camera first before they decide to release them to either party. And sometimes we'll have to sign a protective order before we can get documents saying that we won't disclose them to anyone but experts or something like that to help. The trial, which is something the judge could have done in this case, right? He could have issued a protective order if he wanted the case file not to be leaked to the public. He could have asked the attorneys to sign that. But tell me what other type of in-camera hearings that you've been a.
Hey, Becca, you can pretty much guess why he wouldn't want it released, okay? They must be hiding a whole lot. Because he wouldn't have had a problem with releasing the transcripts. He didn't want audio. He didn't want video. He was giving people a hard time on even using a pen and paper. When you have, his legacy media people in their own interviews bragging about how they were texting and tweeting throughout the trial. I was like, well, wait a second. I didn't know anybody in there had access to electronic devices, right? Well, this one lady said because she was with the Daily Mail. That's who it was. She was with Daily Mail. She was able to tweet. But then you giving others a hard time that are with independent media talking about, oh, you can't use this type of pen. You want them to use a crayon? I mean, what are we doing? So they really did not want them to capture everything that was being stated. Because when they go back to it, what is this transcript going to say? I'm curious to know. I'm really ready to see it because I want to know if there's any lies in there. Did we try to edit anything? These people they are attorneys, court reporters, and so forth. They know what this should look like. And they have never seen anything. It has to be illegal. I mean, it just seems like it should be. Like, who's going to hold them accountable for this? The judge can't keep court docs in his chambers. Who does that? He doesn't own them. Child, he holding them for hostage. Pretty much. She said they could take no electronics as in phones. Well, I don't know what the other lady was using from the Daily Mail, but she was on an interview saying she was, doing her tweets for her news station. So I don't know what she was using to do that, but I didn't know that they could have anything like that. I thought everyone had to use pen and paper, but I guess his select ones, they were able to tweet. Okay.
Part of that you see in the show.
Yeah. In-camera hearings can run the gamut. Literally, like you said, in family cases, child custody cases. The reason I got into this field is mainly because I used to watch this show called Divorce Court. It was a full-on case. And when they had children involved, the judge would always speak with the children in camera. And no one was allowed to go into that in-camera hearing but the judge, the children, and the court reporter, who is the keeper of the record. And everybody always wants to know, well, what did the kid actually say? Well, I have full insight. I get to sit in and find out. So,
whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible. Nina can't code.
Interesting. Right, double.
Can it generate reports?
I agree.
That's just part of it. I have sat through many in-camera hearings. A lot of my hearings, though, are held in the open court, but with only the parties to the case involved. That ranges from snitch testimony.
Ooh. So she's saying, although they may have like snitches that want to talk and share information, they may have any, assault type of cases, it's still in camera where it's with the parties involved. And they are still getting record of that. That part may not be open to the public to come in there and so forth, but you're not hiding behind closed doors, behind in the chambers or on the phone or sending these emails trying to hide everything. See, that's the part that looks suspicious in this case, that they lack fidelity and integrity as well. Okay, in this case, because a lot of this was done outside of the presence of even the defendant. He did not know. His parents did not know. They're having these secret meetings. And then I still believe that Mike Howard was in on that in the beginning, because my question was, how did this benefit Karmelo? I'm still trying to understand what his thought process was in this. By you agreeing to that, how did any of that benefit Karmelo? To me, none of it did. I don't care what he said. I don't care what they had on him. You get ahead of it if it's something that bad. And allegedly, they didn't even show them what it was. Now, that's like a bluff. I would have called their bluff. Let's put it on the table. Let's go ahead and get ahead of it. Whatever it is, explain it and move on. But you allowed them to hold this over your head. I don't think so. I think you also knew what was at stake, in my opinion.
Okay.
That ranges from I have a patent on a pharmaceutical company. and they don't want it public, but they are making a record because perhaps they're being sued for taking somebody's idea, or they have to put that on the record, or they want to make a record of it so that they can have it for down the road litigation that may or may not come. It's just so many reasons for hearings to be held in camera. Those are sealed. If the transcript is requested, it's produced under seal, only to be opened by a court order. Now, in this case, and I'm just jumping ahead, thinking ahead out the box. In this case, with the transcript, it's going to have to eventually be produced because Mr. Anthony, as part of his appellate rights, the transcript has to go up. Right. My thinking is this judge is probably gonna be recused, and then the next judge sitting on the case will then open the record.
Yeah, I agree. And we're gonna talk about in this live about the motion to recuse and kind of why it's really favored.
So she's saying, they're in the process of the whole recusal part. So we're waiting to see what Ray Wallace, however you say his last name, is going to do as it pertains to Judge Roach's recusal. Either he's going to decide on the matter himself, or he's going to assign another judge to hear, I guess probably be over that hearing, and then they'll decide if Judge Roach is going to be recused. I'm sorry, accused. He needs to be accused too, child. Recused. Now, based off of the new judge, then that judge, I guess that's what they're saying, would have to unseal. This is crazy, y'all. Would probably have to unseal the transcripts and the records. But my thing is this: are they unsealed enough so they can go ahead and transcribe it? Okay, like that opens up a whole other question. If they're sealed, are they sealed to the court reporter right now? Can she get to work and get started on transcribing? What have they been doing for a month? So hopefully she's done that part. Whoever this court reporter is, they need to be looked into as well, because this is crazy work. What is your job? What were you doing during this trial? Did you go to work? Because I would have been asking, what am I supposed to do, Judge? Okay, this should have been a red flag for you too. Okay, this is your job. I feel it was a sneaky tactic for the defense to mention violence in the Anthony home. Yes, I'm peeping that too, Kit Kat, that he did put that in there. Now, I don't know if he put that in there to make it seem like that was some info that he was trying to stop from getting out. I don't know. Okay, like this is what I was trying to protect. But they said it was a 75-page document. So that would have included more things than just that one little thing. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. It's crazy work. Okay, we have a super sticker in the building from Karen. Thank you so much, Karen, and thank you for being a sponsor for today's live.
In this case to be heard. So before I let you go, because I know you got to go.
Yes.
One more question. Talk about, like, there have been cases, I know, like the Diddy case, right? Produced of whatever hearings or whatever was happening daily. And so do you see that in trials? And what's the typical time frame after, I know you said first y'all got to get paid, but let's say I ordered the transcript the day the trial ended. What's the typical timeline that I could expect that trial transcript to be ready?
Oh, okay. So it just depends really on what court you're dealing with. Court reporters are employed in lower courts all the way to federal court to the congressional floor. Right now, for us in the federal judiciary, transcript production can be anywhere from...
Could you use up to $800? Find it at BioLife. Up to $800 is waiting for you.
Immediate.
The only thing I can kind of think of is if they were to try to paint his character, but in that case, it wouldn't be an agreement, because I'm thinking character. I thought they could bring up character, but if there was no agreement, right, then maybe they could have painted a picture like, and we still don't know what family violence or what the situation is, but I'm just using this as an example. If he was from a household with violence, would that also make him a violent young man where he would react in such a way? You see what I'm saying? Trying to paint his characteristics from that of his household, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't even know what the situation was and so forth. But yeah, possibly.
To 30 days. So sitting here in the federal judiciary, I do daily copy, high profile trials almost every month or so.
And daily copy is meaning that you're producing the transcript every day.
Yes. So I offer real time. So what I do is I connect the attorneys to my iPad, and they can be in the room in any part of the world. I offer them a real-time production, and they get the proceedings as they're happening in a rough format. And then after that, I go home, produce this transcript with the help of what I call my steno Ls. That's another conversation for another day. But my steno Ls sit in the background somewhere in the world, and they work on this transcript with me so that I can have it ready by the next morning before court starts. That is what is called a daily copy transcript.
Okay, so y'all heard it here. So you either trials that have daily copies, meaning the transcripts are produced daily, or like you said, in federal court, it's a 30-day deadline. So this is a federal case. We're past that deadline. Like, this is not normal procedure to have this high-profile case with, because a notice of appeal to the appeal court was filed literally the day the verdict came in. So that lets the court reporter know this case is going up on appeal.
Right.
So when you get that kind of notice, do you go ahead and start on your transcript?
No, once you get notice, even if the verdict is guilty or whatever. Now, I don't think this was a federal. Was
no,
it?
It's not federal.
Okay, this wasn't federal. Even still, once we get notification that the transcript is requested, we go through a whole process of getting that set up. We give our time constraints and everything. In the lower courts, that time can be 6 months.
Okay.
It just depends on which court.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But in federal court, when we do high profile cases, we know in advance that it's going to be a daily copy trial, and we set up and get prepared for that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for providing your.
Wow, y'all. And shout out to the Fit Lawyer ATL for that snippet. So this court reporter, she actually provides like day to day, like copies to the attorneys, you know, so they could see what's going on. But when you got them all working together, child, it's no checks and balances. Nobody is holding anybody accountable. Okay. But I'm so glad that she explained that process, and it shows even more so that they are doing some things that are not the norm. Okay. They are still trying to cover up some of these things. So now it's delaying some of the process, because that should have been the first thing that they should have gotten. Let's see. OG said the fact that they didn't inform Karmelo nor his parents of this backdoor deal is unethical, illegal, and unprofessional. They took away their choice to say yay or nay. Exactly. I agree. Candy Girl said, I think Mike Howard is lying about violence in the Anthony home. They didn't have anything on Karmelo. And that's what I'm wondering, like, where did that come from? That was totally out of the norm. I was like, or just out of nowhere, I should say. Like, huh? Like, he didn't explain that. I don't know, y'all. That was weird. I'm looking all over for the police. And it's you with the siren noise. You know what? I think Philly Girl said she was out driving one day, and I played it, and she thought the police was pulling her over. Yes, sometimes it catches people off guard. And here we come again. Shout out to him for the super chat and for being a sponsor for today's. She said, no justice, no peace. Free Karmelo Anthony. Yes. Okay. You did too, Kit Kat. No, that's just me with the sound effect. Okay. So moving on, y'all. I wanted to get into a little of this with the Not Guilty boys. Now, we've heard from them also, like right after the trial, they've given their take on some of the things that were happening. But these young men, hey, they were on vacation, okay? But they had to come to us with their take on this whole off the record deal. And they said some great things. Now, I'm watching some of this with you all because when I came in last night, I was like, man, I'm late. So some of this is real time for me. I'm watching it live, not live, but the replay with you all. So let's see what their take was on this whole gentleman's deal.
Recused the judge that was filed by the appeals team this week. And we wanted to touch on some of the key points of this appeal and where it's at right now. One of the most important things, just jumping right into the appeal, is that they asked for Judge Roach to recuse himself, and he has since denied recusing himself. So now Judge Roach has sent this to an independent judge for the independent judge to decide whether or not he should be recused. I find that quite interesting that he didn't recuse himself, given the statements that he made to the media right after the trial that he thought, all his rulings were correct and he thought Karmelo Anthony was guilty and the jury got it right. Well, Judge Roach, you do understand that he gave that interview maybe 2 days after trial, but Judge Roach, you do understand, based on the Code of Criminal Procedure, Karmelo Anthony has 75 days to ask for a motion for new trial. And that motion for new trial will go before you. So why would you be making statements into the media about your personal opinion on this trial when there's still work to be done on this case? What you think about that, YD?
I think that his statements to the media after is indicative of a lot of things. I think that it's indicative. Oh, there you are. I think it's indicative of the fact that, he think this shit over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you get on her and say something? Why would you get on her and choose a side when you could possibly have a motion for new trial before you, and that requires you to be impartial. So here you are after the trial. I'm talking about right after the trial. Almost like, you was jumping to get this done, You write thank you letters and all that shit, man. That shit is just, it's off-putting, man. If I could just find an adjective to use, it is off-putting. What the fuck you think you're going to do when this motion for new trial comes before you and you done already said on national news that you believe everything you did was right? When the motion for new trial is pretty much saying that you was wrong. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to admit to that. The same way I told you people that he wasn't going to voluntarily recuse himself. You're not going to do that. A person that doesn't take any responsibility or accountability is not going to remove himself from that situation. That situation where he gets to use his power. You see what I'm saying? To get a result that he deems proper. He said he thought he was guilty. I ain't never heard a judge say that shit before. I done heard a judge say, I really ain't like that testimony too much. I've heard a judge say, I really liked her. I've heard that, but I haven't heard a judge just right after a trial come out and say, I was right about everything I did. I mean, really think about it. Like, let's take this shit away from the court. Let's take this shit away from the courthouse. Let's just go in the world. You know what I'm saying? In the world, you are required to, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. You see what I'm saying? And if you're wrong, you take accountability. It's simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
And I found it interesting that this same judge did not want any cameras or audio inside the courtroom and was so willing and so quickly. It's like the audacity for me, like on full display, the boldness of it all, like almost wanting to gloat in what he just did and allow inside of his courtroom, like they had just gotten away with something. And really, to be honest, y'all, it was something big. I mean, because a lot of people are saying, I've never seen anything like this. I think they get comfortable in their whole circle of friends and people that they feel will protect them, even if something comes out. That's why he got on national TV and did an interview. It's the audacity, and he feels that he's covered, that he won't have to take accountability, that he won't have to suffer any consequence. Okay, right. Free Karmelo.
and somebody that gets up and says, I think everything I did was right, when you ain't, so you think not letting no media in was right? You think, not finding a way to honor that agreement that was made between the state and the defense on the record was right? Like, come on, man. It's a lot of shit, man, that's kind of, it seemed like a lot of steps were taken. Just like the file's still under seal. Why is it still under seal?
Right.
It's just so many steps taken to keep the public from knowing what's really going on. You see what I'm saying?
And you know what, YD? Checks and balances is a part of our systems, right? It's a part of our
government, highest level of government.
It's a part of our judicial system. The trial court is always checked by the appellate court. So it's not even your decision. It's not your opinion.
It's out of your hands. It's out of your hands, bro.
Whether or not you made the right rulings or not.
Right. It ain't up to you if you made the right rulings or not.
It's not up to him. It's up to the appellate courts. It's almost like he was hedging his bet. But this whole time, public to our people that follow us and been following us throughout this trial, this whole time we originally thought that Mike Howard was the one dropping the ball here. Now, and I agree, Mike Howard did drop the ball to some extent. But after reading Mike Howard's affidavit in that motion for new trial, now I know that the judge was thwarting everything that the defense tried to do. So it's not like Mike Howard didn't try. Mike Howard tried it. I ain't making no excuse for Mike Howard. I still think he fucked up in the case, and I'm gonna get to that. But what it sounds like Mike Howard is saying is that, hey, I had the epilepsy thing ready to go. I had the psychiatrist ready to go. I had the witnesses about the children ready to go. And the judge didn't let nothing in. He's just like he shot everything down. But you know what? The biggest mistake I think Mike Howard made in his affidavit that he wrote, we don't never agree to anything with the state. Why would you stipulate to the state? See, that's that buddy shit that Mike Howard wrote about in his emails. That's that shit coming back to bite you and your client in your ass. You thought these were your friends. Look, Bill Worth.
Come on now. Come on. He's calling it out. Now, I do feel that to some degree, if Mike Howard had tried certain things, because they had already, in my opinion, had this plan, all of them, the judge would have knocked it out the box. Like, he would have set parameters in place anyways. Okay. Because remember, I brought that up one day. I was like, I wonder if the judge would have allowed them to even bring up Austin's character or what he used to do in school and so forth. That was before we knew about this whole agreement. So I think what was going to happen anyways, if Mike Howard and Toby Shook did not agree to this deal, then the next little part would have been the judge putting parameters on what they could do or what they could present. I feel that he's like the backup plan. He didn't want to be the first to do it, but I'll be the backup plan. Okay, like he was saying, after all of that, like you pretending like you didn't know about it. You're like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, enforce anything if y'all go out here and do that. No, you knew what you were doing. And he knew he overruled a lot of the objections. Okay, he was the other layer to it. If Mike Howard and Toby Shook did not go through with the whole plan, I feel like he was going to be reinforcement. So I definitely agree with that. Also, on some stuff, see, Mike Howard thought he was a part of the whole crew. No, they have their inner crew too. Okay, so you're excluded from that, sir. They have their inner crew that was really trying to get things like Toby Shook was on the side too as reinforcement in case Mike Howard wanted to get out of line. Okay, he was going to be the reinforcer to get it back on track to where they wanted to get done. I feel that, in my opinion.
Tricked you, Mike Howard. He duped you and tricked you. Why would you agree not to go into the character of the victims when you need that to play up why they was the aggressors and why Karmelo needed to defend himself that day?
Right.
This is why me and Drew don't agree to anything when we go to trial. And that's why we're successful when they call us not guilty for us. Why would we agree to that? Just watch. Just think about it. I'm trying to prove you the aggressor, but I'm not going to go into anything about you being a bully. Hell no. And then on top of that, you know, it sounds like Bill Worth not only tricked Mike Howard, but he punked him too. Because why is he standing over your shoulder, Mike Howard, going question by question to each question you attend
Man,
to ask
fuck
Karmelo
that,
Anthony?
bro.
Look, I would
Fuck
do a
that,
strong elbow and that Baylor probably would have been coming. Look, Bill, back up, bro. What you doing, bro?
Fam,
It's
we
not
don't
my
even.
duty to keep you my questions.
Yes, my bad, bro. Go ahead.
That's like he asked the defense, let me see your playbook before the game started. And Mike Howard showed his playbook.
Mm-hmm, he did.
And it allowed him to make all the objections. He went, Bill Worth shot the pinpoint. You can ask this question. Now you can't ask that question to open the door. This is why you got to try cases zealously and aggressively. I'm going to pass it to you. Because we're not worried about opening no damn door. The facts that happened up to the 10th is what happened up to the 10th. Anything that happened prior or after, that's collateral. But we're not worried about that and what happened under the tent because we know we will defend ourselves. So we're not worried about opening the door to anything. We gonna open the door to the Metcalfs as well. And so it's gonna be two doors open, and we gonna do both of them. Head up. What you think, Waddy?
Serious about that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's 30 prongs, and I made it to like number 17, bro, and I chill. I'll probably read the rest when I'm on the plane, fam. But number one, let me piggyback off something you said. First and foremost, bro. First and foremost, God is my witness. Strike me down if I'm lying, bro. I don't even give a prosecutor, though, that can come over there looking at my shit, bro. What is it? What is that, bro? Like, a prosecutor not even finna approach me on that. Because they know, man, I'm gonna look at them like they got some shit on their face.
Like, Bill literally punked Mike Howard. I would not have even put that in the doggone affidavit. It made him look like they punked him. Like, who does that? Oh, let me see what you got. You know, let me see. Okay, you can ask that. What was the whole point then? In that case, how about you run the whole play then? I'm going to give you this. Since you over here telling me what I can ask, what I can't ask. Oh, okay. Here you go. You do it. You play prosecutor and you play the defense. Because that's what it was. I mean, you over here telling me what I can ask, what I can't ask. I mean, you do it all. I'm going to just step outside of court and y'all just go ahead and have at it. Karmelo, I'm sorry. You know, like, golly, this was crazy. He literally punked him. He really did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, okay, let's break this shit all the way down. This shit got layers to it, right? Okay, first and foremost, why the fuck would you make an agreement with a prosecutor in the first place? That's first of all. Now, under one of my posts, and then you call it a gentleman's agreement. A gentleman's agreement is for honorable people. That's what I make a gentleman's agreement with Mike. I make a gentleman's agreement with my daddy. I make a gentleman's agreement, I don't know, somebody trustworthy, bro. Somebody on my side.
Right, Bird.
The DA and the state not on the same side.
Well, hey, I beg to differ. In this case, they were. That's why they called it the gentleman's agreement, because they were all boys and in on this. Okay? That's why it was an oral agreement, because they were all in on it together. It basically proves that the defense was being bullied by the court. Okay? That may be the checkmate needed. Exactly right.
That's number one. Number two. Well, let me tell you what making an agreement, period, is indicative of to me, though. Before I go into the layers, making an agreement is indicative of the fact that you are so fucking scared of the facts of this case, or you are so scared of whatever aggravating evidence they got on your client that you was willing to take risk him getting 35. You was willing to risk. Let me tell you something. You face shit and you overcome shit. And
right, I
don't believe that there was anything valuable to the state or that effective on the defense to where he had to just agree not to bring nothing in. That is some, man, look, that's some pussy shit, bro. I just gotta call it spade, bro, because I'm mad about it, bro. I'm mad about it. See, you really sold that man up the road so you wouldn't have to face no bad evidence in that courtroom. Bruh, you face that shit, you overcome that shit, you let your client explain that shit. I don't care what was in that cell phone. Unless it was him saying, Whenever the Metcalf boys walk up to me tomorrow, I'm gonna stab one of them in the chest.
Come on
If
now,
it, wa-
premeditation. It wasn't no
if,
premeditation.
if it wasn't that, if it wasn't a clear showing of premeditation, bro, bring them out, nigga. Call T.I. and Jay-Z, bring them out, nigga. Bring all the evidence out. You lay your shit on the table, and I'm gonna have my client explain it, and then I'm gonna put my shit on the table, and let's see if the Metcalf boy can explain it. Let's see. You see what I'm saying?
And here's another. Go ahead.
But hold on, one more thing, Mike. Tell me if you agree. It's one thing. Okay, so the affidavit said that not only did.
Ooh, that's a good point, Q. Okay, I wondered if they have something on Mike Howard. And my thing is this too, y'all. Okay, let's think about this. If they had something so horrible on Carmelo Anthony, right? And they're trying to prove him guilty of murder. This is how we know it wasn't something like that and it wasn't something huge, because the prosecutors would not have needed the agreement. They would have gladly presented that inside of court because it would have proven murder. They wouldn't have to do a whole lot, coupled with him saying, oh, I'm not alleged, I did it. And they could have put that with it and so forth. You know, they could have just ran with that. But for the simple fact, y'all had to do it in a dirty way. Y'all had to keep it away from Carmelo and his family. That shows me y'all didn't have nothing. You so scared, you over here looking at the defense's notes to see what he was going to ask. And like he said, y'all so worried about y'all's client or the victim. And really, I don't even know why Hunter was in there when he wasn't a victim or on trial, why he was a part of the agreement. Y'all didn't want his whole character to come out. Why? Why was that? Okay, because, hey, it gave Carmelo reason to fear for his life. Y'all didn't want the jury to see that part. That's why I really believe they did not have anything huge because they entered into the agreement. You don't enter into an agreement with the defense if you have this big hand you about to play to show that, oh, you know what? He had a text message on. He had this that showed he was thinking about this or he was going to do something to them. They didn't have nothing like that because they wouldn't have shown that. And I truly feel that's why they went into the agreement as well. Hey, Clarinetta, welcome. Okay. Shout out to T Lady. She said 5 more to go. If you would like to help me reach my goal, we are 5 away. Thank you so much. Hey, who did I just see? Hey, Shamika, welcome. She said that's where the GoFundMe money to pay off. Uh-oh. Okay. Child, look, I don't put nothing past them. I don't. After we're seeing all of this corruption and backhanded stuff, I don't put anything past these people.
Mike Howard agreed not to go into any character evidence,
Hey, Miss
but he
Lady.
agreed not to bring any testimony about the epilepsy, and he agreed not to call that expert on fight or flight. Now, here's my point. It's one thing for us to trade apples for apples, or oranges for oranges, okay? But evidence of him having epilepsy is not fucking character evidence, bro. It shouldn't even been in a conversation. Evidence of fight or flight, you might could argue that to be character evidence, but the epileptic shit is not character evidence. And I think the affidavit said that the judge even agreed with that the epileptic shit wasn't character evidence. So why you ain't get into it? He dropped the ball, bro. He dropped the ball. And what's the most heartbreaking shit for me is I hope this shit appealable on the argument, on the fact that he relied on that shit. Because it's kind of a subjective argument. You know what I'm saying?
Let me take my glasses off for this one.
Oh, child, I've been talking. Thank you, T Lady. Girl, I was still muted. Oh my gosh. And I just been running my mouth. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, what I was saying, I agree with him. Epilepsy should have been brought out because to me, that was not a part of character. Okay, the judge had actually agreed with the defense on that. But did they introduce it? No. It's like they gave into that too. I was also saying that yesterday we were talking about the actual evidence. Okay, so if there were things about the weapon and so forth, that wasn't character. So why didn't they bring more up about that? Forensics. So Mike Howard is still missing he's dropping the ball. He's missing the whole thing. I don't know why Hunter was listed in this agreement when he wasn't a victim or on trial. He should have been a witness, being that he did 2 interviews after. Okay, y'all, thank you so much. And look, I'm behind on the chat. So, child, when I tell you I was just talking, I was talking up a storm. Okay, hey, truthfully speaking. Okay, thank you, Chad. I appreciate that. Are you saying it to the not guilty boys? Maybe you giving them props. Okay, we back.
Because I need the people to see me and feel me on this. I take my glasses
Bro,
off. So
they picked that nigga. They picked Mike Howard up by his ankles and shook his lunch change out. That's what they did to that nigga, man.
And you know what? Bill just kept pushing. By the point he's standing over Mike Howard's shoulder in the hallway during trial, reading his Mike Howard's questions, Bill had already knew he had him. I already got you to agree to the agreement. You did that. That agreement was not in writing. It's nothing to enforce. But here's the thing, Mike Howard. Let me make this soft tangent on this point about the agreement. How far are you willing to take it, Mike Howard? How far are you willing to take it? Because as attorneys, through the rules of professional conduct.
Look, let me unmute. Shout out to my sis, Shelly Shells, for the super chat and for being a sponsor. She said justice is coming. Okay, come on now.
We have a duty to be truthful to each other. And if you're saying that he was untruthful to you, that is a grievance that you could file with the state bar. It should be on record, Mike Howard. How far are you willing to take it?
He ain't doing that shit. He ain't doing that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what that buddy shit. That fine. So I don't want to hear that buddy shit. To all my potential clients who think that you get a better deal by going to hire a white attorney, that's what you got to deal with. Agreements being made when you're not there. I'm going to say that again for the black community. But you thinking that you got a better shot by getting a Jewish attorney, a white attorney, they are making deals behind closed doors, behind your back, and you don't even know it. Like Rick Ross said, you don't even know it.
Come on, bro.
Okay, now I had the same question, Kit Kat, and they were telling me in the chat that if they would have brought up that he's a part of chess club, but he said he didn't bring up that he's in the chess club. He brought up the fact, like with his background, he played chess, and the judge agreed with Mike Howard on this as well because he said that it wasn't a part of character, and Bill kept on going with that though. That's the thing. He kept like harping on this whole chess thing. So what some people are saying is if he would have brought up the chess part, it showed that he was intelligent. He thought about moves and, before he did things, he didn't just act out irrationally. If you are into chess, you think of how to play certain games, like the game, with life, you think things through. So they didn't want, I guess, that to be a part of under the tent. Like he really wasn't acting irrationally, but he would have had a chance to really think this through. Is this something I need to do? And so forth. I think that's why he didn't want that out. I could be wrong, but that could be a possibility. Hey, Grandma 5, welcome. Okay. Has been in and through the entire trial. Menda City. Okay. What is that? I haven't heard. Is that a channel or something? Hey, Sheila, welcome, sis. Shout out to T Lady Boogie for the super chat and for being a sponsor. She said they will not keep getting away with this. Okay, come on now. You better clock that. Uh-oh. Did we meet our goal on today? I don't know. I can't see. Let me know, Miles, if we meet it so we can celebrate that. Let's see. Homebody Chris said, starting to believe what some of the people are saying happened under the tent. Mistakenly stabbed A instead of H mistakenly stabbed A instead of stabbing K, who was too fast going out the back of the tent. Okay, now that, hey, you have a good point. Now that could actually be why he could have been on that agreement. I never thought about that. I never thought about that. Thank you for sharing that, because I was a little confused. I said, wait, why is he on it? Because he's not the victim and he's not on trial. Ooh, did they have reason to believe that that happened under the tent? Okay, y'all got the hats on tonight. This case is actually the beginning for justice, civil rights, and equality for all of us. Okay, I hope so. I definitely see that coming. Okay, because of these different cases. Okay, gotcha. We are 3 away from our goal on tonight. Thank you so much. Okay, shout out to Shelly Shell for another super sticker and for being a sponsor for tonight's live.
Guess what? You think just because he got the skin color to match the majority of the skin color, he doing you something? What he doing? He's selling you up the river, just like Mike Howard did. So how far are you willing to take it, Mike Howard?
Sorry.
That bar complaint is online. That you are accusing him of being unethical. File a grievance, Mike Howard.
And now I know he was unprepared too, because if he detrimentally relied on that agreement, which, by the way, we ain't even talked about this part. The prosecutor duped that nigga and said he didn't think that almost said Trayvon, that he didn't think Carmelo's testimony was included in the deal. The prosecutor almost
he didn't
approached this
calculate
shit.
that he was gonna testify.
He approached this shit like, I don't give a fuck about your calculations, nigga. You made the wrong calculation.
It's my right. It's my
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
It don't matter what you calculate.
He approached it like he didn't have a constitutional right to testify.
Come on now. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mike Howard got duped, bro. He got duped. And that's how you gonna see how far he willing to take it. You right, Mike. If you don't file no grievance on him, bro, this shit ain't worth nothing, bro. This shit ain't worth
sad.
It really still ain't worth nothing, honestly. This some after the fact.
The sad part about it is it appealable? I don't know if the fact you got duped.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know that. I don't know if the fact that he went against the agreement, the gentleman agreement.
Shout out to Tim and Sonia. I appreciate all of the support and thank you for being sponsors for today's live. I really thank you, ladies, so much. All right, let's see here. If it was something bad on Mello, it wouldn't have been blasted last year. I agree. Before the trial, they scrubbed the Anthony's backgrounds. It would have been even out. Now that's true. I can see that. Okay, I can definitely see that. Are you guys having the hard conversations with your kids and grandkids? Racism is real, and they are taking us out by any means necessary. Oh, and that is definitely something to think about. Okay, especially surrounding these cases, Janet. I agree. Those are the hard conversations. Okay, Kit Kat said, I honestly feel that's why they're moving the way they are, protecting the truth that Karmelo Anthony didn't do it. Oh, come on now. Okay, it has to be a reason, y'all, if we really think through this. She said 10 out of 10. Woohoo! Let's listen to a little music. Let's celebrate us reaching our goal tonight.
Welcome to the open book, where every voice matters. Every story got layers, and every conversation opens something new. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Welcome to the open.
I ain't gonna play the whole thing. Okay. Shout out, and I will tell you all what our prize and award is for us reaching our goal. That is 2 nights in a row. Thank you all so much.
I had is a appealable issue. I don't think that is.
What the fuck is a gentleman's agreement in court, bro? No,
It
my
wasn't
nigga. When you get that shit in writing, you get it before the judge, and you get it on record, bro. Hey, no, like, what the fuck is this, bro? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and it goes back to not hiring a black attorney. That hire whoever gonna help you the most. But you went and thought you had you a good old boy, and you did. You had a good old boy that sold him right on up the road. Because see, look, if he was actually prepared and had his client ready to testify no matter what, it wouldn't have mattered if that gentleman's agreement went out the door. He'd have been ready.
And
He'd have been
here's
ready.
the thing about that agreement. I heard the judge say this. I don't have no way to enforce that agreement. And even though nobody may like it, the judge might be right. But how does he enforce that
No,
agreement? It ain't
he
in
could have put it on the record.
That's why it
He
needs to
could have
be
put it
in
on the
right.
record.
That's why it needs
On
to be in
the
motion.
record. Call the court reporter in. All the people got them nice ass officers in the back. Call them in. Say what the agreement is. Say that both sides agree, and be done with it.
Bro,
Gentleman's
that's where he
agreement
dropped
and
the
a
ball.
nigga life on the line. That's how you know, bro.
Well, didn't she just say that when we listened to the court reporter? Okay. Shout out to Shamika for the super chat and for being another sponsor. She said Karmelo didn't deserve this. I don't like to lose, so ain't no way I would have did my client like that. He should have peeped the prosecutor's game. Exactly. Okay. I definitely agree with that. And hey, I'm telling you, the court reporter lady, she just said the same thing. They were supposed to have this on record. Okay, this stuff was done in the background on the phone. They're sending emails and so forth. Okay, I don't like losing either, child. I'm very competitive, especially when you're playing different games. Hey, Mrs. Mel Mel, she said getting convicted by a whole MAGA team is crazy. Okay, not the whole MAGA team.
It's two ways. It's two ways you could have locked it in. You lock it in a motion to eliminate, right? Agreed motion to eliminate. You lock it in the stipulation of evidence. That's how you lock it in. But Mike, you just don't trust Bill because you have cocktails with him every other Friday at the golf course. You can't trust Bill. Bill knew that you was
that motherfucker look shaky. He look untrustworthy, bro.
Oh, y'all. I got to tell y'all this right quick. Okay, I'm glad he said golf course. Now, those of y'all who were in the chat yesterday, I know I got just excited for a bit right quick, but because I love when the detectives come into the comments giving us some info that could spark a thought. Now, remember yesterday when we were talking about the beginning, how we brought up the racist graffiti with the Metcalf twins, right? And so I was looking through and I found a story that there was in Frisco back in 2023. There was a case where there was some racist graffiti there at a golf course, and it had been at two different golf courses, right? They had sprayed out the N-word and so forth. And so I was like, they said it was two people. So I was like, man, two people, Okay, don't know for sure, but did this have anything to do with them? Y'all, why did someone come under that video on today and said, you remember Mama Megan said that Austin liked to play golf? Y'all, I had forgotten about the golf because she said now, though, Hunter has taken on golf. So I want to know how long because remember I said it has to be someone that is kind of familiar with that golf course and so forth. But I didn't make the connection until she said that. She did bring up that they played golf. Now, I don't know how long have been playing golf, but that was so ironic that came up under that video after we talked about it yesterday. I said, y'all, let me find out. They at the golf course writing on these people. They call it the bunker. I was like, I forgot Miss Megan. They call her Mama Megan. Mama Megan telling on her sons. Okay. Let's see. He emailed the agreement to be filed, but they held. Yes, exactly. The Queen's didn't clock that. He did say that, and they hand delivered it. Right. See, people don't realize the judge planned to retire and go out with the win, and the DA wanted to win as well. The crooked attorney working with Mike helped put it in place, and Mike went along with it. I agree, Life. Yes, I could see that happening. Okay. I don't know. Yes, y'all. Y'all remember that from yesterday? Mama Megan said they like playing golf. I was like, wait a second. I know that was totally random, but when he said golf, it made me think of that because I was going to share that with y'all at the beginning that we may have put together some puzzle pieces. I said, wait, were y'all the rest at the actual golf course? Oh my God, they have a gang of them running around in Collin County, child. They violated Karmelo Anthony and family constitutional rights. Free Karmelo. Come on now. What do we have coming down the chat? Shout out to Monica for the super chat. She said, free Karmelo. Keep up the good work, OB. Thank you so much, sis, and I appreciate you being a sponsor for tonight's live. Thank you so much. He most definitely could have upheld that agreement as a judge. If he can shut the media out, he could have made the agreement stand. Exactly. But he didn't want to. I feel like he was trying to bluff them as well. He already knew who he was working with Mike Howard. He knows that Toby Shook was going to go along with whatever Worski wanted, okay, in the prosecutors. He was going to go along with it. So with Mike Howard, he was just going to shut him down, okay? He wasn't going to go for that. So, yeah, it was a bluff. Yeah, he wanted to keep it off the record. Yes. She did say Austin liked to play golf, and now Hunter is now wanting to play. Come on. Child, let me find out it was STEM. That's where the arrest took place.
Bill knew that Mike was soft and he sucked his teeth in. Why I'm showing you my questions for my client. I don't have a duty to do that.
Right
Sam,
here.
I'm not even telling you if my client, we're not even discussing if my client testifying. I don't know yet. Fuck you talking about? We're not gonna have a whole meeting in chambers, you know, so you can thwart what the fuck I'm trying to do. Like, come on, bro. And if you prepared, see, that's why I don't never feel like the state can stop what I got coming anyway. Because I'll be prepared for everything. I got, you know, you draw a fork in the road. You get your fork in the road. What you gonna do if this goes left? What you gonna do if this goes right? If you get to go straight, then just keep going straight. Okay, they object right here. What you gonna do? Okay, they come out with this evidence. What you gonna do? You gonna question this person about it, or you gonna tell them no further questions, not even let them go deep into it? What you gonna do to put that fire out? All you gotta do is put the fire to keep it moving, man. And that, bro, he had to be like a deer in headlights, bro. And honestly, fam, I think with the missing piece to the puzzle, what was the evidence, bro?
Come on,
what was the evidence that you were scared of that was gonna come out? Well, you thought it wasn't worth him telling his story under that tent. You thought it wasn't worth him explaining his statements to the police. You thought it wasn't worth him taking a stand at all. What the fuck was it, Mike Howard? What was it, bro?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I got a lot of moving parts over here. Like I said, we're on vacation at the pool. But anyway, people, yeah, Mike Howard fell for the okie doke. Bill got over, and the judge assisted in that. I mean, it ain't the judge's duty to say, well, Bill, you told Mike you was gonna not do that, so you can't do that. No, Mike, as an attorney, you gotta object when it's time to object, and you gotta present your evidence and not be afraid of whatever the DA may have over there. And your fear is cost Karmelo. So again, how far are you willing to take it? Or you gonna file that grievance since he was unethical per your own signed affidavit submitted in his motion for new trial. You know, and it's another thing I want to say about this. Two things, Drew. Two more things. Number one, we was all screaming ineffective assistance of counsel, but I don't see that nowhere in the motion for new trial. So I have to sit there and think to myself, why wouldn't they file ineffective assistance of counsel? But then I saw Mike Howard's affidavit. Okay, so maybe the appeal
got him to help.
Thought it was more valuable for him to be on our side than to point the finger at him right now.
It was because they never would have knew about the agreement. They never would have knew about that.
They never would have known.
So they made the right decision on that.
It is very normal and very typical for a trial attorney to work with the appeals attorney in the appellate case. We've done that ourselves as trial attorneys on a couple of appeals. We work with the appellate attorneys all the way through the decisions. So that's a year, 2 years down the road. We still working with the appeals lawyer, assisting with the appeal. So maybe the appeals team thought that Mike Howard would be more valuable as an asset than as a foe. You know, and we can't do nothing but respect the experts
Right.
on that because
Ooh, that's a good point, y'all, that they brought up that maybe, they could have put the ineffective counsel part as one of the appeal reasons, but he probably would, and he probably trying to cover himself too. Okay, right now it's like probably like a win-win type of situation. Let me go ahead and air out my stuff and what we were doing, and maybe they won't file this on me because y'all, he's scared to lose his license as well. Okay, so I'm just like, I definitely agree with that because I was wondering the same thing. Shout out to the not guilty boys in the place tonight. Okay, gotta respect the experts on this for sure. Yes, because I was wondering that too. And shout out to y'all in this video. Oh my gosh, I came in late last night, but I was like, look, I want to show my crew what y'all have been saying because I 100% agree with everything. I don't know if you saw my comments underneath the video, but I had questions. I said, man, I didn't miss them. But thank y'all so much for the expertise that y'all have given. I love how y'all break it down, how y'all talk just not all over our heads. So now that you're in the chat, I can tell you where you can hear my voice saying it. Okay. Shout out to the not guilty boys being in the building. Thank you so much. Free Karmelo. Now, that's what I said yesterday. Exactly. Okay. Yes, and thank you for dropping their link too, T Lady. I appreciate that, sis.
they have the experience in doing these appeals, and I trust Russ and his team that they know what they're doing. But secondly, one of the other appeal issues that they raised was Karmelo's Sixth Amendment right to a public trial.
Thank you so much. And someone did respond to my the one I had in Facebook. Y'all, they're very timely. And like I told them earlier, y'all are on vacation and so forth. But we will definitely be looking out for your next episode. Thank y'all so much. Y'all rock for real.
And how the judge denied access to the general public, to media, to cameras. And I like in a motion how they pointed out other high-profile cases like Amber Geiger and other cases where the judge allowed it. The judge only opened the court for 10 minutes a day from 8:30 to 8:40 to the public, and then everything was shut down. It's 72 seats in the courtroom. He only gave 27 available seats. Nobody can access the records online. He had to seal behind his desk in his chambers. Just the way that the judge handled to publicity, that may be a good appealable issue. Every person, every defendant has a right to a public trial. The reason you want the public to be there because you want to make sure these people are being fair. And the more that things are done sealed and behind closed doors, the more likely that things have not been done fair. What you think about that, y'all?
Well, let me address something before I go into that. Somebody put under our post, I think, like, oh, so you ain't never stipulated to nothing in 13 years? Let me tell y'all something, bro. You don't make a fucking agreement with a prosecutor. Let me tell you something first.
I agree.
13 years. I've never not made an agreement with a prosecutor, and it hurt me. That's never happened. The DA's never said, Mr. Wilson, we agree to this. And I say, no, I'm not agreeing to nothing. You ask Mike. I tell him vehemently, like, nah, we're not doing it. That's never hurt my client's case, ever, across the board, ever. But understand, you stipulate to shit on your own terms. Like I told y'all, usually we are arguing self-defense. So shit that I stipulate, stuff that I stipulate to is, oh, Judge, yeah, that was the weapon that was used. Oh, yeah, my client's fingerprints are on that weapon. Yeah, my client was there on the scene that day because we're claiming self-defense. We can't say he wasn't there. See, you stipulate to obvious shit. That's what you stipulate to, either for the sake of timeliness or just or strategically. See, I do shit like, I tell the state I'm not finna stipulate to this being the weapon that was used. And then right before when they call the witness for their first question, I stand up and I stipulate. Because what that does is, tactically, that shows the jury, we're not scared of this evidence. And it shows the jury that the state is wasting your time. And it shows the jury that this don't prove shit.
It's almost like getting ahead of it. Like if that's why I feel like, we're honorary lawyers and detectives in here, not guilty boys. Y'all the experts. But that was one thing I had brought up too. It's like, regardless of what they had, I would have, because I'm a big believer in telling on myself. Okay, if I mess up, if I do something wrong, I feel like the consequences may be lesser if I go ahead and tell on myself. That's how I operate in real life. Let me go on and admit it. Maybe they'll give me grace, okay, and get it over with, right? So if you know something wrong, just go ahead and get on top of it. And then you set the tone and the narrative for how that is put out there. Like, even like with the whole weapon thing that we talked about yesterday, okay? Now, I don't know if what Charleston White was saying is true or not. He's saying the public hasn't seen the real weapon, Charles. So I don't know, okay? We saying allegedly. But I would have definitely brought up where are the forensics on this weapon and all of that. Like, none of that was even brought up. That's why I was like, are we being punked? Was this a real trial on certain things that were being done? I just did not understand why they didn't bring some of this up, and it was outside of character. Life says, see, I noticed being a Black attorney or any Blacks that hold big position needs to always keep their hands clean. Yeah, it's like you got to go above and beyond. The truth may set you free. Come on now, you better say it. Facts. If they had anything, Sarah Fields would have put it out. Girl. Okay, I want to ask them, why do y'all think that the paperwork kept mentioning both twins? Oh, that's a good question. If they feel like answering that in the chat, if it was allegedly only the one twin. That's been one of my questions too. Just drop the ball in place. Yes. There were two, according to pictures and videos. Shouldn't that be grounds for automatic mistrial, exonerate, etc.? Okay.
The fact that my client's fingerprints on the gun don't prove that he premeditated, that this was premeditated and not self-defense. So I just wanted to tell people that you use the stipulation shit, strategically to benefit your client, not before the trial even start. I ain't heard of that shit before, man. I haven't heard of that shit before. That's almost like the gym. Well, like I took my kids to this play place the other day for my nephew's birthday. And you come in there, they have you sign a waiver, right? So basically, you agreeing not to sue these people no matter what happened in this home. Now, first of all, people don't even know. Them waivers don't stand for shit. They don't stop nobody from being sued. They just make you think you can't sue them. But you could sign a waiver and sue somebody right after that if they shit defective. But that's what I'm saying. It's almost like agreeing to, you don't know what's going to happen in trial. You don't know what's going to come out. And it's always, like, you know this to be true. It's always a ram in the bush. It's one that we find before trial, and it's one that we discover in trial. Always. You see what I'm saying? But as far as the opening stuff to the public, bro, that's just about sneaky shit they did, bro. Like, transparency, is it just like the truth? You never get half the truth and it's still the truth. You can't have half the truth and call it the truth. You can't be half transparent and call yourself transparent. You can't. Either you are or you ain't. You got some that will and some that won't. Some like Pepsi, some like Coke. It's saying late grade UGK. You understand what I'm saying? It is or it ain't. You know what I'm saying? You can't be hiding shit and call yourself transparent. So, it was just a lack of transparency with this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I think another thing was with that argument, Russ said that I think that the judges were required to do something else, like have an overflow room or something, or do something in place of not having the courtroom open. Give the public some avenue of access. Right. And he didn't do that. Like you said so eloquently, I mean, the first day, he shut down the overflow room. The first day. So, I sure hope, they can get this done, man. But, like, I don't feel no better about the defense attorney's job than I did before I knew this shit, bro. I knew something was funny. I knew something was funny about it. I knew something scared the bejesus out his ass where he didn't even want to call his client.
And like I said, I still stand on those kids that law school child. They need a refund, okay? Because there's no way you teaching a whole course over jury selection and it went down like that, okay? So Ray also said, I hope his current clients are taking notes. Mike Howard is behind the scenes making bogus deals with the DA. Girl, okay, that in itself, that in itself will make me not want to contact him. Okay, because I don't want you gambling with my future. And then you don't know how to stand on business. So that's how you're gonna do it in the courtroom. You giving in to everything. No. Roach witnessed the gentleman's agreement, so I think him and the prosecutor were on the same page. Oh yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, the Sixth Amendment just blown away. Okay, come on now. They need to open it. You know what, life? I was thinking the same thing. They need to do a thorough investigation into the cases that have been handled outside or inside. I'm saying outside of this case, but inside of that Collin County courthouse. I mean, think about even when Dr. Candace Matthews came, right? She was talking about a couple of things. She brought up the situation with the whole lawsuit with Willis and so forth. But she also was talking about one of those judges in there that's doing some things, and it's a whole trend and pattern with some of these kids being placed into certain households. Okay. We don't know, y'all. This is just one thing that exposed like a lot in just one case. But imagine the ones where the lights were not shining. Come on now. How many others have been found guilty behind these little off the record deals inside of that courtroom, outside of Karmelo's case? Okay, so that's something to also think about too. They need to look over the previous cases that they may have held, and then also that judge has ruled over. Right, Mike Howard just gave a bad name for himself. His career is going out the window. Karma is coming. Karmelo, Sincere Anthony's 4th, 5th, 6th, and 14th. Amendment rights were violated during this trial, full of prosecutorial, I can never get that word, misconduct and ineffective assistance of counsel, legal malpractice. Ooh, come on now. You better speak it. Okay, and you're so right. You're so right.
No, like, yeah, bro. It's a tough deal, man, and it needs to be looked into in depth. But I do understand the strategy of getting him to help out so you can get all the facts. Because the judge wasn't gonna divulge none of that. You see what I'm saying? That they would have went to the grave with that gentleman's agreement.
Right.
You know.
Right. For what I understand, the record's still not available. I think the judge, I mean, let's just call it what it is. He thanking everybody after the play was executed. Come on now. He ran the play the exact way he wanted to run it. He didn't want us people looking and seeing what was going on and calling foul. Come on now. If it's supposed to be a spectator sport, why can't the public come watch the game, Judge? you just a referee. Why aren't you closing the arena down? We just coming to watch. We fans. Of course we gonna boom when there's a bad call made. Of course.
But see, the thing of it is also with this judge, see, he watches more social media than what he tries to let on. A reason I know that is he even told the jury, now make sure you don't go and watch social media because they don't know what they're talking about. Wait, what? First of all, they should not have been watching social media anyways. Okay, that's number one. Number two is we know more than you think we know, which is why you did not want this case televised or streaming. Okay, this whole trial. You already know we were going to peep y'all in there sleeping. Okay, he wanted to keep the cameras out so nobody see him up there nodding off, calling him out. And the jury, child, we can't see the jury in most cases. Anyways, we heard some of them were over there nodding off too. He didn't want us to see the shenanigans that they were pulling. See, we're talking about it after the fact. He knew we would be calling this out every day. Okay, if this was being live streamed. He already knows. And he looks at social media. That's why he wanted to do the interview. He tries to pretend like he's not concerned with the public's opinion and things like that. No, you're very concerned. Okay, you knew we were going to clock a whole lot of stuff. So I definitely agree with what he's saying. Probably why they're fighting like hell Okay. Yes, look at all the previous cases that the Roach was involved in, right? Yeah, this is crazy. It needs to be a whole lifetime movie as well. Like Takeoff said, how can the judge know about the gentleman's agreement? No, the prosecutor went back on his word. Uh-oh. But sit in that interview and say the trial went the right way. Like what? Several things went wrong. Oh, Takeoff, you better clock it. I'm telling you, he already knew some stuff was wrong. And he actually agreed with Mike Howard on some things. But he sat there and let them, well, I mean, hey, Mike Howard stood for them punking him, child. But hey, I mean, what was he supposed to do on that part? You know, Bonnie said, hey, Bonnie, welcome. They putting in that legal work like Johnny Cochran. Need a lawyer, hire them. Come on now. I'm telling you, you are correct. The open book, he didn't sequester the jury until it was time for deliberation. And he almost threatened the jury. Okay, if you think about it, he was like, look, now, if we don't make it a decision by this day, I'm gonna have to sequester y'all. Okay, now you want to throw that out like I ain't trying to go to a hotel and be away from my family. So, child, we're gonna get in here and get it done. You're rushing the process, just like he opened court on a Saturday. You're rushing the process, sir. Okay, so now you're rushing the jury. It's almost intimidation, what you're doing. I want to know if the jury was made up of previously selected jurors from other cases. They all need to be investigated or tested. Shamika, hey, look. Now, this is what's so funny. We did talk about this on a previous live, but at the Metcalf's, the pizza place where they worked, they hosted a whole jury focus group like a couple of months prior to the trial, okay, with the whole law firm. Now, during that, this law firm, they don't really deal with like criminal cases. However, I just found that like such a coincidence. You know, it almost made me, they had almost 600 potential jurors. And the judge kept telling them, I want this number down by this day. I want it down to 200, 250 by Wednesday. Well, how do we know y'all did that with integrity? That large number from going from 600 to 2, that's 400 different questionnaires to go through, right? It almost, the way that they're moving, I wouldn't put it past them. Now, I'm not saying that they did. I wouldn't put it past them to have already handpicked who they wanted as a jury member, okay? And call those people in. They probably had hand selected. We don't know if they friends or the family or what, because we don't even know who they are, child. We just know it was 18 of them, okay? 12 that actually was there. So my thing is, I don't put anything past them with this whole jury selection. It could have just been a formality to actually say, oh, you know, we got rid of these and this is how it ended up to be a jury with no blacks. Y'all probably had already had the applications months earlier. Here, call these 12. Okay, and let's just put on for the people the way that they're moving. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm going to just be honest. It would not surprise me at this point, what they're doing. Don't trust those 75 pages. Everything has been fabricated up to this point. Exactly. So many violations and amendments broken. How can Karmelo not get a new trial? Exactly. I agree. Ain't nobody punk Mike Howard. Like, on some stuff, they actually punked that man in my opinion. Okay, let me see your notes. Like, Debo, let me see your notes, Mike. Okay. Child, they looking over his shoulder. The way he described it too, I was like, I would not have put that in there. I really wouldn't have. Shout out to the Not Guilty boys. Their link is also in the chat. Thank you, sis. Right, who in the Sim Hill has court on a Saturday? I have never heard of that before in my life. Exactly. Even people that go to jail got to wait till Monday because the judges are not there. They're gone. They're out with their families. They're not thinking about court. This man wanted to rush the process. Let's focus on the appealable issues because that is the home run for justice in Karmelo's case. Exactly. Collin County wrongfully believed that Black culture was ignorant of the legal system. All the Roach did was reveal his true colors, showing us that they are indifferent to melanin regardless of gender. You better say that again. Okay, I'm telling you. She said, right, OB, remember allegedly Jeff Metcalf Dennis was one of the jurors. What? Girl, no, I didn't even know that part. Oh my gosh. Okay, he gonna cry in the car. Right, Bird? Okay. It would put, hey, I don't put anything past them at this point.
We gonna complain and boo. That's how life works. So the only way you will be shutting the court down, not giving access to the public, is because you didn't have no intentions of running a fair game in the first place.
Exactly.
So I think that I'm gonna call it what it is. That's why you thanking everybody, because your staff in Collin County helped you execute the secretness of this trial. It's like the Salem witch hunts. What you scared for, Judge? Open the doors. If everything is fair, open the doors. And the whole thing about that Saturday thing, it just shows whew, and you want to recuse yourself, Judge Rose,
and then
you want to recuse yourself. Let another judge
letting these judges preside over cases when they finna retire right after, bro. They be showing their ass. They be showing their ass.
We learned that the hard way.
Like why would you get the highest profile case in 2026 in Texas to a motherfucker that's packing his shit up?
He don't care.
And let me tell you,
out the door.
Let me tell you, I call a spade, bro. That judge not a nice person, bro. I've seen him in action. He done got on to me about my pants before when they suit pants. I'm like, what you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? He didn't, you know, he just he one of them people that gotta talk the loudest in the room. You know what I'm saying? And he seems overly emotional, like he make emotional decisions all the time based on how you feel. I ain't never gravitated towards him or liked him much at all. You know what I'm saying? But I don't need to like a judge to be in the courtroom. That's my thing. But, you know, I mean, I don't put none of this shit past him is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't put none of this shit past him.
I agree.
We'll get some news here soon with the motions for recusal. We should know something on the motion for recuse very soon. Maybe this coming week. The motion for new trial, after that recusal is heard, that motion for new trial hearing has to happen in 75 days of the verdict, which was June 9th. So y'all do the math on that. We're going to get that hearing pretty soon. So we're going to see how this all plays out. But, you know.
When is he supposed to retire, bro?
I heard December. I don't know how true it is. So I heard he's out by the beginning of January. I also
what it seems
about it.
We'll talk offline and verify it all.
No, but I mean, he has been complaining. He does have a public reprimand before, so he's not perfect.
I bet he knows.
Go look at my disciplinary record. Look at my disciplinary record. You won't see a public reprimand on mine.
Won't see shit. But you know, anytime you mention us, they're gonna act like we the bad boys. You know what I'm saying?
Well, come on,
we ain't got none of that shit.
At this matter.
I guess the point. The point I was making is it could be kind of good because it seems that no matter what, if Karmelo did get a new trial, he wouldn't be the judge over it. That's what it sounds like. Because it ain't going before December.
But this is what I hate about it. If he don't get recused, right, he's the one that has to decide the motion for new trial. Well, we already know what he did. He got the trial with perfect. There's no way. There's no way Karmelo gets the motion for new trial if judge is not recused. So what can we?
And y'all, this is where the prayer really has to go, right? Either Judge Willis is going to decide on that himself, or he's going to appoint a judge to be over that hearing. If the not guilty boys, correct me if I'm wrong, going to be over a hearing to decide that. So that's in the hands of either that Judge Ray Willis, that's really good friends with Greg Abbott, or another judge, and I don't know who that could possibly be. Okay, so yeah, that's where the prayer is going to have to go. Shout out to Black to My Roots. Welcome to the Open Book family. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I don't understand why Cockroach would stay on the case knowing he's supposed to be out by December. He wanted this to be his last hurrah. Okay, remember I said, I feel like, look, were some palms, greaves, promises made of something to come. Okay, I don't know the way they moving, child. I feel like y'all said a while back, throw the whole trial away and start over. Yes, that's what I said. Throw it into the whole lake of forgotten. I don't even want to know, okay, about this trial. We need to just start over. The sea of forgetfulness, yeah. We need to throw it out there. That judge and those like him didn't do anything but replace their white sheets in for black robes. Ooh, crooked politicians and corrupt police officers and hateful attorneys. My goodness. Right. Fix it, Jesus. Okay. Shout out to the Not Guilty Boys. We have dropped their link. Thank y'all for all of your hard work, your expertise that you share with us, your insight about these cases. We've gotten some requests, about the Nolan Wells case. I don't know if y'all going to give us some info on that case as well. But thank you, fellas, so much. Y'all are rocking and doing a phenomenal job. Lifetime or a box of crackers. Actually, I would place a huge welcome to Anthony County. Wait a minute, not welcome to Anthony County signage everywhere. You would have the whole county renamed. Okay. Yeah, that's why he doesn't want to recuse. Exactly. Yeah, let's pray he decides to go on out. How it's looking for now. Really? Oh my gosh. Okay. Even with the change of venue. But wouldn't that come after the fact? I think the change of venue would come after the fact. Like they have to decide who's going to be over the appeal part. And then that person, I don't know. I don't know how that part would work. Look, I'm not the expertise. The expert, I should say, with my expertise. No, the sheet is just underneath the robe. HGY. She said it's under the robe. The case needs to move. Yes, definitely needs to move out of Collin County. Yes. And because they're all connected. Thank you, Karen. They're all connected. And it's not, y'all, because they said, where was I reading this? That even if they do a change of venue, I heard this somewhere, that they don't get to select, oh, we want it in Dallas County or Denton County. They don't get a chance to select that. It goes wherever it goes. Okay, so you don't know if you're going to get a better county. Okay, I'm just saying, so child, we just got to let the Lord take control of this. Let's figure out how to force him out like they would do. Okay. Ray Johnson said a change of venue comes if it's a new trial. Oh, okay. Okay, got you. Thank you so much. Ooh, child, this has been crazy. Oh, really? Hattiesburg. Well, y'all, that was all that I had today. Let's see here. Black to My Roots said I live in Dallas and Collin County is extremely racist. Micah. I'm sorry, y'all. My son. I'm like, boy, I put in a couple of job applications to work there as a healthcare provider. And as soon as they saw my name, they never called me back. Are you serious? See, that's messed up. That's not good. Wow. Okay, so y'all, thank you all so much for tapping in on today. I want to thank the Not Guilty Boys and also the Fit Lawyer ATL. Thank you all so much for the snippets of the lives that we used today and for your expertise, the great job that you all are doing. Also, I want to thank Protect Your Peace for gifting memberships and for being a sponsor and also becoming a member. Thank you so much, Protect Your Peace. Also, shout out to Karen, Tim, Shelly Shells, T Lady, Boogie, Sonia, Shamika, and Monica for being sponsors of this live. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your support for this live. She said, thanks everyone for joining. Good. And why is Karmelo, Micah, why is Karmelo still in prison if all this mess is going on with the judge, the defense, and the prosecutor? That's what I was saying. Can they release him until they get it together? How about that? Okay. Release him until they get it together. So y'all, thank you so much for tapping in. Tomorrow morning, we will go into more about the Nolan Wills. I have some really good updates, y'all, in that case. So make sure y'all tap in tomorrow morning. Also, if you have not hit the like on here, please hit that like. Okay, what are you waiting for? It is for free. Also, don't forget to hype up the video, subscribe, and hit the bell because you never know when I'm going to go live. Shout out to the mods that were in the building on tonight and earlier today. Thank you, ladies, so much. Life said, I tell my husband, if I'm in a place more than 10 minutes, get out the car, I might be going to jail. Okay, exactly. Welcome to all the new subscribers today. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. And y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Until next time, be blessed.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.